Now that all of the edges have been glassed together on our settee, it was time to round the edges so we could begin the finishing work, aka fairing. With our corners, we're staying fairly small, and Matt is using a 3/4 inch router bit. But because the head of our router is so large and can't go all the way to the sole, we had to come up with a solution for the remaining 3 to 4 inches. Since we have this radius already glassed into other areas, like the edge of our closet, Matt was able to glass up a form which followed that exact shape. Once it was done, all we had to do was stick on our Duragold sandpaper, and we should be able to have identical radiuses each time we go to sand, which will be especially helpful once the fairing compound goes on.
Well, I'll probably carve it first.
Okay.
Try to duplicate that a little bit with
After 8 years of the nomadic life, involving crossing oceans in a 34-foot Sabre, refitting an aluminum boat, and then taking that to the Arctic Circle, we're back at it again with a brand new build. This is Matt, and I'm Jessica. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and join us every week as we start our newest project of building a 42-foot catamaran from the ground up.
working on the countertops now. Trying to get this little 1-inch edge along here. The 2x4 is kind of being used as a straight edge. I usually use those steel bars, the ones that are actually laying down here right now. But if I do need to bond this edge, I can't actually clamp that to there. So I need something that I can screw through. So I found one 2x4 that was about as straight as I possibly could find, and screwed that in to pull this, what's going to be the countertop surface, into kind of a flat area. So that's what that is. I will bond this into place. That 1-inch piece really doesn't add a ton of stiffness at all. It's more just a cosmetic piece. But hopefully it straightens that out a little bit. What's really going to change it is once we figure out what refrigerator we're using, and I start building the carcass for that, start building the structure for that, and adding more bulkhead pieces in here, then I can straighten this out and get this perfect. So on this cabinet side, we ended up cutting this straight edge, so the counter edge is now perfectly aligned with these rounded pieces on either side. And then glassed in that backsplash area. And what that's for is, you can see the slot that it creates along here, and that is where the door, it's going to be a pocket door that slides out. This area needs to get cut out, but it's going to slide out through here to cover the aft berth in this area. And then under here is what I am now working on. We glassed this yesterday, and so now working on glassing this. The idea is we're gonna make a 1-inch overhang. So I'm gonna cut this back basically and get it so it looks pretty good and finished. I'll be able to glass that in then, and we're gonna go from there. think that's close enough. That doesn't look bad. The idea is to kind of see if we actually like that. So it's hard without things being faired or painted or anything like that yet to really get an idea of what the finished product's going to look like. So a lot of it's a guessing game. And it's something like this little overhang here, is that going to be better, or should we make that flush and blend it in there like a round over or something like that? And I'm not sure. And the other problem too is we're still not 100% sure as to what surface this upper edge is going to be. This is most likely going to be the actual countertops are most likely going to be a synthetic stone, a Corian, something like that. You can buy them in a 1/4 inch thickness now, so 6 millimeters, so they're incredibly lightweight. And I think we're going to end up doing that for these surfaces. But this back area that is kind of parallel with this upper edge, which is just gel coated, I don't know if we're going to paint this or exactly how we're going to do it. And it all depends on how we set up that dish rack, just drying rack like we were planning, to make some use of the space. And probably plants and that kind of stuff will be up there as well. So we're just trying to get ideas now at this point and looking at 1,000 other boats and seeing exactly how they do this type of stuff as well, and what we think looks best and what's going to blend in well with what we have here.
While Matt continued to work on the design of our galley and salon furniture, I went back to adding fairing compound to as many bare spots as I could. Since the deck had been fully bonded to bulkhead 6 now, I could prep that area to get fairing compound on it. Another area I simply hadn't touched was the upper area of bulkhead 6, although I wouldn't be able to apply compound to all of it, as, come spring, we still need to bond our cabin top to it when temperatures finally allow. Hey there everyone, I just wanted to take a really quick second to talk about our Amazon wish list, which first of all, I'd like to say thank you so much to everyone that has purchased things for us off there, both viewers and patrons that tend to clear our list out because we always have some kind of sandpaper on there that we're going through so quickly as we're especially building out the bridge deck right now. So I just want to say thank you for that. But I also kind of want to mention how it works. So normally with every gift we get, there's a little barcode from Amazon that lets us go on and send a personalized thank you to that person, which we always try to do. Lately, there has been a number of gifts that have come that haven't had it in there. So we get this gift and we want to say thank you, but we don't know who it came from. So just know that if we haven't given you a thank you, that may be one of the reasons why. And then sometimes in cases like this, it comes to us a little bit destroyed. So Russell Horsley, thank you very much for that 40 grit sandpaper. We appreciate it. And then there is also one more reason why sometimes we don't get these or get a thank you out to you. So both the marina and the restaurant here actually have the same address. So sometimes when packages get delivered, they accidentally get delivered to the restaurant, which was fine when it was operating through the summer. Everyone knew just to bring the packages back to the office. But now they're closed and like another party is handling things. So sometimes they just get stuck in a back office for weeks at a time. So we just wanted to say again, thank you so much for everybody who helps us out by getting us building supplies off of our wish list. It helps incredibly towards our build. We really appreciate it. And we try to get all of those thank yous out. But if you haven't received a thank you from us, that might be one of the reasons why. It is just above freezing inside the tent right now, if you can see that. And just got in for the day. Matt has not run the propane heater yet. He's working on like a different diesel thing, trying to get that to work. So I've just turned on our 2 radiator heaters to try and get the temperatures up in here. But since we definitely can't bond anything when it's this cold, it's the perfect time to seat up in Tyvek and do some sanding. So my goal over the next couple of days is to get down into our bilge on the port side, get that sanded, get a barrier coat and then a coat of bilge paint on it, and we can actually call that kind of like finished and done. Do you like my winter garb. Also helps keep the fiberglass off. It has been so long since I've been sanding fiberglass because normally I'm just sanding frame compound, which although it's dirty and dusty, it's not the same itchy components. But as I work down here in this bilge, we're not going to do any fairing in there. I'm just kind of like knocking down some high spots and blending in the tape lines. But because of the odd shape, I really want to go at it with my mouse sander just because it's like so tiny and easy to handle. It can get in those areas. But I also need something strong like a 40 grit sandpaper to like get rid of some of that resin. And that's not coming until later today. So do I try with a random orbital or do I wait and do it with my mouse? Well, I am not enjoying that, and just as I suspected with the random orbital, especially because it has that large bag attachment, it is very hard to get it into those little spaces. So I am going to try again now with my mouse sander. And this isn't even just to make it look pretty, but we do have to get like a lot of that resin off before we can put the barrier coat and the bilge paint on there. So it's not even for looks, it's because it has to be done. Two things. One, the mouse down there was so much easier to maneuver around those tight spaces. And two, when I first went in there, I didn't realize that one of the areas that holds the, sorry, was it gonna be the shower sump?
Shower sump.
The shower sump, like the matte fiberglass in like these little corners, you may have seen them. One of them, not by me, had been like knocked down before, and I didn't realize what it was, and I sanded down the resin to enough, so he's got to build that back up before I can do that. So now I'm gonna go back to my job that I started the other day of working under these settees here to get those ready for like the lightest coat of fairing and then painting as well. Are on fire, and I just had to give myself a little break. And I know there's probably a number of you out there, including Matt, because he was just saying this to me too, about the mouse sander. That's not the right tool for the job, but unfortunately because this specific opening is so small, I can only get like one arm or like one shoulder in there at a time. And although I should be using at minimum this random orbital, it just gets so heavy, so I figured at least I could hold the mouse for longer. But my 40 grit sandpaper isn't in yet. Now it's time to go back to the random orbital and just give myself breaks like every 20 seconds. I think I have found the worst spot on the boat that I've had to sand so far. This is not easy to get in. It's not very much fun. If you remember, it has been pretty close to 1 year now from when I have started working on the cabinets down in the head and the forward berth, and they still haven't been painted out, primed yet. And so now as I start on these areas, I want to have you guys place bets, go down in the comments and tell me how long you think it's going to be for me to prep these, fair these, and get them ready for primer. I started on December 26th. I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible. As I said, very light coating, but I'm really curious to see how long you guys think it's going to take me.